All right, guys, welcome back to the podcast. We're still up here in the mountains, believe it or not, and it looks like we're going to rain. I've been doing my rain dance. Seemed like it was helping. Started seeing a little bit of lightning, and it sprinkled a little bit, but I don't know. Do you think it's going to do much?
Well, about once a year, it just pours through and just for about 10, 20 minutes.
Yeah, wets it up real good. You have to hold the mic like up
Hold
here.
it closer.
Oh, yeah. Johnny's got the good podcast voice, the deep voice.
Maybe.
So, all right, so let me say this real quick. I haven't put this on the last couple podcasts, but check out, guys, Yukum Nuba. They've been a big help and sponsor to us, Feeding Rocky, for the last almost year now, I think. Good dog food. It's got all the good stuff in it. It's got glucosamine and chondroitin, which is really good for dogs' joints. Uh-oh. I don't know. I'm kind of curious if they can hear the rain in the background.
I can hear it through your...
Can you hear it through the head? It's coming and going. So if you're listening on here and you haven't listened to the last couple of podcasts, we're up here in the mountains camping, having a good time with friends and family. We come up between 5 days to 14 days, depending on how long you can get off work. But are you here the rest of the week?
I got off till Saturday or Sunday. I got to go back to work next Monday, so I got another week.
Okay, cool. Well, let me say this first off before we get going, guys. Johnny has a channel, Fowl Assassins. Probably I'm sure quite a bit of you guys from that watch our YouTube channel, Mid-Valley Mercenaries, watch Fowl Assassins. He's a California duck hunter and got a channel too, and I've been wanting to sit down and do one with him. We've been talking about it for probably 3 or 4 months. Yeah, maybe more than that, probably 6 or 7. But up here's been perfect because everybody's been up here, and it's a perfect time, and it's a beautiful setting. I'm sure that you that are watching the channel are liking seeing the nice tents in the background. We need to do one down by the river. It was starting to rain, and I didn't want to move the stuff down there. But anyways, so Johnny, what year was it that you got into duck hunting?
I got in 2016. First semester at college in town, and Colton was like, "Hey, skip your class today and come out duck hunting." It's dead of November, and it's afternoon, and we headed out. Went to Dollar Tree, stocked up on snacks and drinks, and they're like, "All right, we're going out to a pond. We've killed tons of ducks." And it's like 95 degrees. I'm carrying stuff, pushing a cart. We all head out there. Super long walk, and we got out there. I think we spent all day out there. Didn't even see a duck.
That's some crazy thunder.
I know.
It's getting loud. Didn't see one duck.
No, I didn't.
Nothing fly.
I was just looking around like, okay, this is a lot of fun. And they're like, okay, you got to come again. So I'll go again. And I think I went 2 or 3 more times before I shot a duck. And it was I went with Travis and Talon and Colton and green wing teal.
Okay.
That's what we got.
That was your first duck?
Yeah.
Right on.
And then after that.
What'd you have then for a shotgun? Did you?
My Dickinson 212 SR.
Oh, you had that then?
Did
you buy it before season started, or?
Well, they're like, you got to get into this. So I went and got a shotgun at Big 5, and it's actually the one I'm still using.
Okay, yeah.
It's not good.
That's not the one, though, you put that red dot on, is it?
Yeah, that's the one.
Oh, it is?
The red dots, that's a different one.
Okay.
They're both Dickinsons, but.
We were talking about that. You got that, that is a Dickinson, though, isn't it?
Yeah, they're both Dickinsons.
Okay, it's more like a home defense gun.
Uh-huh.
But we were shooting clays up here, and actually it was you never missed.
I shot better than that with my duck guns. I'm highly considering taking out.
You got to do it.
I know. I'm going to.
So Johnny's got a YouTube channel too. Like I kind of said that a second ago, but he's got a channel called Fowl Assassins, and it's same kind of like ours, just family and friends. We just go out there in California public land duck hunt, and so you guys gotta check that out if you do watch YouTube videos, and go check him out. Do you still have a Facebook or anything?
I got off Facebook and Instagram. It's too much to keep up with. I didn't enjoy it.
I did the same thing. I didn't. If it was really gonna grow, and if you guys hear rain in the background, it is starting to.
It's pouring.
I'm sure that's got to be picking that up in the mics. It's beautiful though. It's like a thunderstorm because it's sunny in some spots and then it's black overcast. But we're in a trailer. Are you in a tent?
I'm in a tent.
We'll see how that goes.
Me and Colton's in a tent. It's probably soaked right now.
All right. So, you have done some things, and I wanted to go over this that people that have been hunting for a very long time haven't done. Right place, right time. And one of those is the trifecta.
Yes. That was actually my second year. Me and Colton hunted all morning at a local refuge. It was a hard one to get onto. It was the closest one to us. And we hunted all morning and literally didn't see anything. And Colton had to go back to work. I had the day off. But he went home and was like, I'm going to drive out and see if I can't do anything. I pulled up. I think I was the second or third person on the whole refuge. So I walked out to my favorite pond and just sat up. And there's just teal everywhere. Do you remember that? I think it's on your channel, that really windy day.
Yes. That was the same day?
It was the Wednesday before that Saturday.
Oh,
Went out
okay.
there. It was insane. But
Okay.
I set up, I had 2 alleys with the toolies, and teal were just funneling through them. And Drake Greenwing came through, popped in, another Drake Greenwing. And I seen another one come through, and I was like, oh, that's a blue wing, Drake Blue Wing.
Mm-hmm.
And he came through. I fired 2 shots, missed, and he was flying away, and I hit him on the 3rd. And about 15 minutes later, Drake Cinnamon flew by, just right to that same alley. Teal all day long flew through. So I had that, and I was thinking, man.
Did you know about the Teal Trifecta then?
Yeah, I was marcoing everybody on our chat, and I didn't have no service. It was like,
And it wasn't going through.
Nothing's going through.
Ah.
I was like, okay, this is only halfway through my 2nd season. Like, I know this isn't right to be shooting this. And then got that one. And I think I got 6 that day, but I had, with my last shell, missed a Drake Pintail.
Oh.
I would have had a good limit.
Wow. So you had the blue wing, the cinnamon, and the green wing. What else did you have? More probably green wings or something?
I had a hen spoonie, another green wing. Yeah, I think I had all teal and a hen spoonie is what I had.
Yeah. That's incredible. Now, you've done it twice, haven't you?
I did it the year after that. I think it was one of the first hunts of December. I wasn't going to go. We had a party or something the night before. I was like, I ain't going tomorrow. There ain't no use because it's super slow.
Mm.
And Austin, Colton, and Connor talked me into going with them. So I went out there.
Yeah, I remember that. You had that on video too, right?
I had that one on video. The first one I didn't. I was like, I ain't videoing today. I'm just going to go out there and hunt. But the second one, trying to think I went. We were all just in this. It was super foggy, and teal were just trickling in and out. And I remember first thing in the morning, I shot Drake Cinnamon, I shot Drake Green Wing, and we were all talking like, oh, it'd be funny if a blue wing flew by. We hadn't seen none all season.
Mm-hmm.
And I was sitting over to the left in a little tule patch, and Colton was on my right on the corner. And 2 teal came funneling low over the water. I didn't see what they were. I just seen them coming through. I heard Colton shoot, and his gun click. It jammed, and I doubled. And as soon as it hit the water, Colton was, Drake Blue Wing.
He was so mad.
He's like, I hate my Benelli.
Yeah, that's where the bitterness started, wasn't it? Is in that click right there.
He does it all the time with his Benelli.
Yeah, we actually, when we did a podcast, we were talking about that Benelli click.
He has a lot of problems with that Benelli.
Yeah. They kind of all have, though.
I know. I haven't really met anybody who didn't have problems with their Benelli.
Yeah. I don't want to say too much, though, because people start getting mad at you. But, yeah, it is what it is. Every gun has its teal. But, so the teal, so you got the one Teal Trifecta on video. What's the name of that video? Do you know if anybody wants to go check that out?
Honestly, I think it's just Teal Trifecta.
The Teal Trifecta?
Yeah, it was.
You're holding all 3 of them up, aren't you?
I'm holding all 3. I'm in like huge baggy waders. I lost my belt that day, so it looks like I'm 300 pounds in the picture. But it's pretty easy to find it.
Well, you on that hunt, how'd you know what the Teal Trifecta was? Is it because you were with Colton and Tal and they were kind of telling you? Because how would you even, if you were that new of hunting, how'd you even know that that was?
I hunted a ton my first season. As soon as I got into it, I went with Colton and Talon and Travis anytime we got. I just slowly learned what it was. And then in the off season, like, I just indulged in everything duck hunting and just learned everything I could. And then by the time next season rolled around, I kind of knew what like the main things were that were good. And just when I shot that, I already knew what it was. I knew it was a good thing. I didn't realize how good it is now. But
yeah, you may never do it again.
Yeah, twice is way
2 years in a row. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a good thing that you say that. And I want it for the listeners, some younger guys. That's the best thing you could have did is research and in the off season and learn. Like if that's something you're gonna be passionate about and you really like doing, take the time to learn and read and search and.
Yeah, I was on the internet and YouTube all the time looking up every duck species, like everything about them, their calls, anything having to do with duck hunting. Like I took it all in that summer. That helped me a lot, but like it didn't help me as much as actually being out in the field, because you can read about how ducks fly and what they look like, but until you're out there, you don't really. Like now, I feel like I can look in the sky and identify most of the ducks that are flying around, whereas before I couldn't do that.
Yeah, and you know what's funny is, so you've been hunting for 4 seasons?
Yeah,
or 5?
This upcoming is going to be my 5th.
Okay. I hunted with Travis for a long time, but I don't know, I never really took the time to like learn to ID them quickly. Because Travis has incredible eyes anyways. He really does. He can see so far out there, it's not normal.
See a speck.
I used to think he was just full of baloney. But then I realized, I was like, he legitimately can see far. Like, he really could. He can.
Yeah.
But it's funny, his close vision isn't very good. But anyways, he would do that. And I had been hunting for a little while, and he'd be like, Rocky's over there wanting to get into the food on the table over there. Need to get him in the video.
I know.
But yeah, like, how do you identify him that far? And now I can do that, no problem. And Jake was telling me the other day that he doesn't know how we're doing that. But
Yeah.
so what I was thinking is the fact that you can identify that good, really not that long. That's pretty good. Like, you could tell that you took your time to really try.
Yeah, I mean, I was trying to take it all in. I was out there just trying to figure out. But how it went for me was like first season, it was just identifying ducks, how they flew. Because I never been out and understand ducks flew or anything. So I just got that down. Second year was like IDing ducks when you shot them. My third year, I kind of started to pick up on sounds or their calls and seeing what they are in the air. But this last year, I felt like I could really, when I see them flying, I could tell what they were even at a distance. But it was like went in that order pretty much.
Yeah, and that sounds about like what it usually is too. So you said your second year identifying, meaning once you've shot them, you're looking at them.
Once I shot them, I could kind of figure it out. Or if I seen them flying really close, I could see what they were.
Yeah.
But as far as like now, I feel like I can hear a duck and kind of pretty much all time know, not all the time, but you know what I'm saying. Like I kind of identify what it is. As far as the flying goes, if they're super far away, I don't tell. But if,
that's the hardest part.
If they're in range, like I can tell. Oh, there's a pintail, there's a spoony, there's a mallard. You can just kind of tell.
Yeah, and that's good that you got used to it that fast. What do you think is probably one of your craziest stories that you've had duck hunting so far?
I got teal trifectas are pretty crazy.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I mean, nothing spectacular I can think of. I mean, not right now, anyways.
Yeah.
Last season opening
just like
day,
maybe your most memorable.
Some of the most memorable I've had, probably the most memorable 3 top hunts was I went with my dad to that one refuge just so foggy, and we shot a limit of all drakes. We had all kinds of ducks there. I went with me and my Uncle Barney to that one. I can't remember what that's called. Insane Bag of Ducks. We just shot everything.
That was cool. We were there that day, weren't we?
Yeah,
somewhere else.
I think you guys are in another pond somewhere away from us.
You guys.
But one of the funnest hunts I think I remember was I think it was last year. It was me, my Uncle Barney, my dad, my grandpa went out there. We shot like almost 4 limits. My Uncle Barney shot that banded pintail. My grandpa shot that Ross goose.
You were right next to us.
I know.
That was an awesome.
Yeah, you and Jake and Nathaniel were set up over there.
Yeah. Yep. And Nathaniel's sitting over here. But that was I was watching you guys. I've never heard Barney. Was that what Barney screaming?
He was screaming.
I've never heard Barney. Like, I was like, something must be good for him.
I've never seen him that excited.
That's cool.
And then he didn't even believe my dad.
And coming from a guy that has big game hunted, and you too, have big game hunted your whole life, and shot incredible, massive deer, and just done incredible things. You did sheep hunts. He's a guide. You guys have heard him on this podcast. The one we did where the grizzly bears and stuff like that.
Yeah, that was a great podcast.
For him to get that excited, it just proves.
I've never seen him that excited.
Yeah.
I mean, he lives for hunting. Duck hunting is like, he said it's cool. He said, you can't really go through life and find something when you're halfway through it that like just you have a passion for again. But he said he has that. I mean, I got into it full force as soon as I did it because it was so much fun.
Yeah, because how old is your Uncle Barney?
I want to say 48 or 49.
And he got into like 2 or 3 years. 2 years ago?
I took him out on opening day 2 years ago, and that was a very good opening day. He was hooked after that.
Yeah, and he didn't have a gun.
He didn't.
So what was that? Shay's gun?
Well, him and Shay got their hunting license, and he just figured he'd bring the gun out here and let Shay shoot, and they ended up taking turns. And at the end of it, he was like, "Give me the gun."
When he realized how fun it really was.
Yeah.
Because it was you first, and then was it your dad?
Yeah.
And then
I went
Barney?
the first year. Next year, I took my dad out. He got to where he liked it. Next year, my Uncle Barney and all my siblings, my grandma, they're all in it now.
And now there's just so many. There's just so many people that duck hunt. And it's a cool, like, Travis always teased and said, "Look what I've created, the monster." I was like, yeah, I mean.
He was the original.
He was, yeah. I mean, Randy Hoffman was, I guess, the one that took him, his Uncle Randy, and then I don't really know anybody else. My dad took me when I was like 9, but I didn't shoot. I was just out there, you know, so. But, I mean, how much do you like it? I know you like to big game hunt too, but I mean, what is it you like about duck hunting? Let me say it like that.
I like duck hunting because you can go out. Because I've been game hunting my whole life. In California, you don't see stuff every time you go out.
Right, yeah.
My biggest thing about it is you can go out, and it's just as exciting every time almost because you're actually seeing seeing all the birds work, fly around, and you're just getting action all day. Even if you're not shooting, you're consistently seeing birds everywhere. That's what I like about it.
Yeah, that's basically my same thoughts too. So this isn't about duck hunting, but I just thought if I wanted to get this on the podcast, tell us your bear story from, was that last year, right?
2 years ago.
Was that 2 years ago?
It
Man,
was.
time flies.
That does go by fast.
Yeah.
Basically, I went out. I had a tag on East Side, California. It's about 4 hours away from where we live. First weekend I went up with Colton Talon. I passed on a lot of bucks. And next weekend I had nobody to go up there with. So I go up there by myself, and I'm driving down. I got my Toyota, so I can go down any little road. I go down to the farthest road I can find, and I just hit a dead end there. And what kind of drew me over there was there's a nice canyon of glass for deer, and right there is a really marshy-looking, leafy vegetation. This is different. So I go out there. I go out of my truck, take my gun. This is weird because, honestly, my whole life deer hunting, if I'm just going up on a hill to glass go, I don't take my gun. Because I got a 3378 Weatherby, and that thing weighs like 13 pounds to lug around. So I walk out, I have my gun with my binoculars, and I'm glassing over this canyon and scanning over with my binoculars. And I go over, and I see this brown in my binoculars. I put him down. There's about a 200-pound black bear. He's about 15 yards from me, just standing up. And I was...
When you had your binoculars up, you seen him?
I was glassing around like this, and I like stopped and put down my binoculars, and there's the bear right there.
Oh,
I was like, man. So
everything went brown or black, and then you're like, what's going on here?
So I'm just sitting there because I'm expecting to run away because any bear I've ever seen ran away.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there, have my gun cocked and ready, just like, go away, bear, like yelling at him.
Just in case.
And he starts getting aggressive, puffing his chest, his head's going, he's breathing real loud and kind of growling. And the brush I was in, sagebrush, was up past my belly button. I mean, it was tall. So, I mean, I couldn't run away, because I was far enough from my truck to run across, I'd fall. And so I didn't want to take a chance, so I shot him right there and dropped him. So my thing was, like, it was self-defense. So I run in town to get a bear tag. I was like, I'm going to tag this thing. I go back. I take my gun again, and I was like, I can take my gun. I'm just going to skin him out. And then I was like, oh, I need a picture, so I'll take that over there. So I set up my phone, get a picture, and I start skinning this thing out. And so how I was ranged was a bear in front of me. I skinned out, and around a big sagebrush bush, I put my gun over there. That's how I walked over and set it down. Well, I'm skinning this thing out, and I hear something behind me. And I turn around, and there was another black bear. He was standing up, and he was actually growling and huffing and puffing and just roaring, kind of.
How far was it? What was that one?
When I turned around, because I walked it off.
So you heard it?
I heard it, and I turned around.
As you're skinning this bear?
Yeah, so I'm skinning this one bear. Another bear comes up behind me. So this thing, because I stepped it off afterwards, but he was 12 yards behind me when I seen him. And I didn't have my gun. Had no bullet in the chamber. It was all in the magazine. And I don't know if anybody has a bigger caliber gun like 3378. Those shells don't jack in. Like, you have to, it's hard to get them in. So by the time I seen him, he drops and starts running through the brush. And I just whip around. I grab my gun, and
and he's running through the brush at you.
He's coming through the brush at me, growling.
Yeah.
And I turn, and in one motion, I just grab my gun, cock it, and I lift up through my scope until I seen brown. I just shot. Hit him right in the head, and he was, when I mapped that off, I just dropped him instantly. But when I mapped that off, he was just under 7 yards in front of me.
Goodness, dude. Just running full blast at you.
Just running. He couldn't run as fast as he could, like, on regular ground, because even the sagebrush is thick for them. They have to go through the little paths in there.
Yeah.
But I think that was the only thing that saved me right there, because he had to go, because he stood up on a little ledge. He came around, and I shot. And it was weird, because in the moment, I was cool as could be, and just my thoughts were about me. As soon as I pulled the trigger and see him drop, my whole body just went to quiver and shake and limp. I think the first thing was like just a deep breath. I was like, "Thank you, Jesus."
Yeah.
And it just fell. At that point, I had a mess because I had two bears there, but I got it all straightened out.
Yeah.
Left there. I didn't want to take another chance, but went there.
That's crazy.
I hunted the evening because I had a deer tag. I'm over for 4 hours. I'm gonna go hunt deer again. Seen a couple doe that night, but after that, just went home. So yeah, it was pretty adrenaline filled. That's
so crazy how adrenaline works too, because sometimes adrenaline will make your heart pound and you'll almost not be able, if everything feels slow motion.
That honestly, that's what it was. Like,
But did that? I mean, sometimes I've had adrenaline where you said you're just calm, your heart rate's not up, it's cool as collective.
yeah, that wasn't like I wasn't freaking out. Like my whole body, I was completely calm. Like in my mind, like okay, if I want to live, I have to shoot this thing right now.
Yeah.
Or else, I've never had this happen before though. When I first seen that, people will say their life will flash before their eyes really quick. That happened for a split second. I never experienced that, and then it just went by real quick, and then it just kind of phased out, and then I was back there again. I just
That's
grabbed
trippy. I wonder why it does that, because I've actually experienced that a couple times.
Because I've heard that, and I was like, I wonder if that's really true, and then I can say no. It is
So
true.
you did have that happen to you.
Yeah, it was.
It's like little flashes of memories or something.
Just random memories from your life, and just quick flash. It was like a second long, and then you just snap out
That's
of
crazy.
it. But yeah, it was makes for a good story now.
Yeah, all right. I killed 2 bears charging. Because, I mean, the one didn't charge you yet, but he's about to.
He was just acting super aggressive. I didn't want to take a chance because I was in a position.
You think they had a den right there or something, or
so
what?
This is what I was going to get to. Last summer, me, Colton, Talon, and Adam go back up there because I want to see because one of the bears was still there. I want to see if the skull was there. That second bear was around 300 pounds or more.
Was it really?
He's a huge black bear.
Oh, so that was definitely the male then.
It was, yeah, the first one was a female, was a sow, and then the second one was a big boar. So I don't think it was mating season because it was October, but they were just both aggressive. But we walked back down in there last summer and just bones riddled everywhere through there and fresh bear tracks in there too. I don't know if that's just a constant haven for bear that passed through, but one of the tracks seen was a monster bear track in there and just bones everywhere scattered. Deer, there were some cow bones. It's the only place in that area I found that's like that. It's its own little habitat.
That is
right
weird.
there.
That's weird.
I want to. Plans to go back. I want to go back there and see if I can just glass one out and shoot another one.
And that's a hard place to get a tag, right? Where you got that one. It's gonna be a while before you get another one there, isn't it?
No, for bear. So you buy a bear tag. It's actually statewide.
Okay, for bear it's easy, but not deer, right?
All D zones and X zones, it's actually open season on bear.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I mean, but for deer though, it's a little tough to get a tag, right? If I remember right.
Yeah, for deer, it's about a 3-4 year tag.
That's not too bad.
Me and my dad and sisters put in as a group, and we drew it as a party tag. But I think the only one
which helps, right? Get you drawn a little bit easier.
Cheyenne shot a buck. Olivia shot a buck. And I actually have on that video, I dropped that one, but I hit him in that. It's called no man's land on a deer. It's right in between the lungs and the backbone, just tissue.
Goes right there.
It'll knock them down. They'll just go off and be fine.
I thought that was you that shot that.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was Olivia.
No, Olivia shot a deer.
Or she got her buck.
She got hers. I shot mine. It dropped.
You had that on video, right?
I had it
yeah,
on
it
video.
dropped.
Just
like a rock.
Folded up, and Dad's, oh, he's dead. Let's go get him.
Yeah.
While we're walking over there, we see him hobble over the hill and just take off again. And there's absolutely no blood on the ground. There's one drop. It's that perfect point on a deer or an elk or anything. It just goes straight through, doesn't cause him any harm.
What a heartbreaker.
Yeah, it was.
Was it a nice buck?
It was a nice little 3-point. It wasn't no monster. It was the last weekend. I was holding out. I could have had bucks before that, the previous 3 weekends, but I just wanted something nicer.
Yeah.
That one was pretty cool, though, because we went in the morning. I spotted him and a couple other deer, and me and Dad made the plan to go down in the afternoon and see if we get up on him. It worked out. Everything was absolutely perfect about it. I shot right in that zone. I mean, if it would have been an inch higher, would have spined him. Inch lower, would have been double lung shot. It's
wow.
Odd place.
So how far of a shot was that?
I believe that was about 440.
440.
440 to 450.
Now explain that to the people listening, because there's a big debate. I don't know if you've probably seen it, how people saying 300 to, because you guys have killed things up to 700-800 yards, if not more. Yeah. But you guys it's crack shot, dead, and it's not that they try it. You guys always want to get as close as you can to the game, but there's times you can't do it. So explain that to why sometimes those shots are taken like they are.
So I've even got a lot of backlash over this on Olivia's deer, because she shot hers at 430. I shot mine at 450, I think. But it's not. People say it's unethical. These guns, but nobody really knows about a 3378. 3378 in the 70s is actually the Army's official sniper round.
Oh, was it?
It wasn't legal for civilians to own until about the early 90s, and that's when my family all picked them up. But you can easily hit anything you want up to 1,000 yards. We have those Leopold turrets and do it, and we got the loads to do it. I mean, it's not like we're just going out there and just popping shots off things. Like, we know, we've trained with them enough. We know exactly.
Right.
it's not, because there's some people, I went guiding with my dad in Wyoming. I mean, there's a guy, he said he will not shoot anything over 150 yards to 300 yards. And then I went with another guy, and I seen him drop a bull elk at 1,100.
Wow.
It's just a matter of if you're comfortable with it.
And that's the same thing with the duck hunting.
Yeah.
The 20-yard, 40-yard thing. People saying 40-yard sky busting, you know?
Oh, that gets on my everlasting.
Oh, it does. I know. It does. I hate that word, actually.
The long-range rifle shooting, it's nothing unethical about it, because you can make just about a shot as 100 yards. It's all about who's comfortable at what range, and it just depends on every person. I mean, you're not going to have a perfect opportunity at every range, but obviously you're not going to go cracking shots at 1,000 yards just to do it. Just to do it. I mean, I shot one in Colorado. It was 826, but I mean, I had a perfect lay down on my backpack, completely solid. The buck was bedded down broadside. I mean,
that was crazy, dude.
We were all shocked I hit that, but that was like, I had a completely comfortable position. I was comfortable with the gun, just shot it. But like, same thing with duck hunting. If you're capable of shooting to 40 to 50 and you're deadly at it, it's nothing unethical about it.
Yeah, what's unethical about that? That's what I try to explain to people, because the Flyways Collective, that group of guys, there's always been there's ribbing going on. I don't think it's too serious. I mean, it may be more serious than I think, but I think it's more just ribbing than anything. But it's like, I've seen guys cripple birds and still watch them fly off at 20 yards. Maybe it's not as much, but it still happens.
I mean, I've winged birds 15, 20 yards, and they still fly. You can't do nothing about it, just however the shot placement was.
Exactly. And they could still be hurting out there, and you could say that's unethical, but
exactly.
I don't mean to get off on this topic, but it's just, it transfers everything, just like you said, just those long-range shots. I've seen that so much, like, oh, that's so cheating.
It's just something for people
just
to
like Brother Ralph,
about.
we did that one with him a little bit ago, Ralph Cowden, talking about the bear hunting. They're saying dogs, using dogs is unethical, because that's a unfair advantage. It's like, man, you don't always catch them though. They don't
exactly.
I
mean, even that's lucky.
Hunting means hunting, not catching or shooting. You may never even. How many days do we spend out there not shooting nothing versus when we do shoot something?
Multiple.
Especially on big game hunts.
Exactly.
Because I've grown up elk hunting, and you go for, I can't tell how many times I went for 2 weeks and never shot nothing.
Shoot.
And maybe not even see nothing.
I mean, if hunting was just going out and killing, then everybody would be doing it.
Exactly.
It's the slow days that make you appreciate the good days when you're hunting.
Yeah. All that, the journey there, that's what we've talked about so much on this podcast, is the journey to success is really the part you talk about, not necessarily the kill. It's like, okay, that was cool. You talk about that for 5 seconds. I shot that bear. But the whole process leading up to you getting charged by those 2 bears.
The day.
That's the
funnest part.
That's the funnest part.
Like, I remember this last duck season, I had a slow season all season until the last month. In the last 3 hunts, most notable was me, my Uncle Barney, my grandpa, and Shane. We went hunting. Uncle Barney drew number 1 at one of the more premier refuges. I mean, I made a point that day, like, I'm not going to shoot teal or spoonies. I just want to shoot mallards, widgeons, and pintailed. And all day long, we'd let them come in close. And I think we ended with a ton of good ducks, but that was just fun all day. We sat there all day just waiting for the good opportunities to come by. And that was one of the funnest hunts I've ever been on, too.
Yeah. Oh, it was an incredible hunt.
It was fun.
I was jealous on that one. That was an incredible hunt.
That was my most.
That was last year, right?
Yeah, actually this January.
Oh,
6
well,
months ago.
Yeah, last season, but January. Yeah,
last season.
That was crazy. And I didn't blame you one bit, because I remember keeping up with the Marco Polos, and I was like, I would do the same thing you guys are doing, because you don't go somewhere like that and just. No, I mean, I think you were out there a little longer than normal because of that. You could have probably limited out so quick in the morning, but you guys were being patient.
We all could have limited out quick, but like, I waited all day for shots and ducks I wanted. I think I ended up with 2 Drake mallards, 3 Drake widgeon, and Drake pintail. The only duck I passed on I actually passed on was like a premier Drake spoonie, and now I wish I would have shot it.
just to add,
just the cherry on top.
Yep. All right, guys. Well, it's almost that 30-minute mark. Thanks for coming on. We're gonna probably do another one here before the camping trip's over. I got a couple more days up here, so got a lot more guests coming on and having a good time. Everything's nice and wet now. Hopefully Rocky's staying dry over there under that tree, but thanks for coming on here, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's a
blast.
Right.
Check his channel, guys. Johnny Helton, Fowl Assassins. See you next time.